Good afternoon, Novia.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you feeling today?
Um, I'm a bit nervous, honestly speaking, but yeah, I'm good. How about you? I hope you are well.
I'm very well. Thanks for asking me back. Welcome, Novia Imroatul Sadia, to the interview section of LPDP Round 1, 2023. I'm Haidir. I'm accompanied by the other two panelists, and we're going to interview you for about 1 hour. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's begin with a proper introduction. So would you please introduce yourself briefly, no more than 30 seconds? Yes, please.
All right. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Novia Muratu Sadiah. You may call me Novia. I just graduated from English department of Universitas Negeri Malang in 2022, so it was last year. And during my undergraduate degree, I actively involved in inside and outside the classrooms, and now I'm currently teaching English in one of the Islamic schools in Indragiri, Riau Province. And this year, I intend to join the LPDP to continue my master's degree in the University of Manchester, majoring digital technologies, communication, and education. Thank you.
All right. Let's talk about your academic background, Novia. What have you learned
Yeah.
so far from your bachelor's degree?
All right. Well, on my undergraduate degree, I learned in English language education, and there I not just learn about grammatical um, tenses or grammatically. I also learned how to teach, of course, and because of I choose the English language education, so basically this program is preparing a good and professional teacher after we graduate.
Okay. Talking about teaching skills, it's all about pedagogy, right? What is your, you know, what is the most pedagogical subjects that you think it's very beneficial for your career at the moment, and which one is do you think the most struggling?
All right. Well, I think there are some of subjects that really necessary for, and one thing that I can think now is micro teaching. I think this is really essential and beneficial as well. Um, and also now I'm currently in one of the formal school. So I think micro teaching is really, really important since during the class I need to engage to the students and how to teach, but it is not just daily for the subject or daily for the materials, but how they really understand about the subject. And one of these you know struggling subject that I experienced with it is classroom management, because at that moment I just can't think. As long as I can remember, I just need to imagine how the classroom works, when in fact I don't have any real experience out in the classroom, because at that moment I didn't have any formal experience to teach in a real classrooms. So I think that's one of the uh, you know struggling moment for me. But now I found that classroom management is really beneficial, as well as micro teaching and any other subjects I have worked or done during my study. Because now I am teaching in a formal school, so I need to have that skills to manage the class and how to giving the rules, classroom rules, and so on and so forth. So I really, appreciate all the subjects that I have learned during my study.
All right, Novia. We welcome Bu Laila. She's one of our examiners today. Bu Laila, we're just starting with the first and the second questions regarding Novia's educational background, academic background, and only the introduction. We shall continue, shall we? Okay. Last question about your academic background, Novia. You talk about you mentioned about micro teaching and classroom management, but you haven't mentioned about any teaching methods. So I'm wondering, what do you know about English teaching methods? Is there any specific strategies or teaching methods or approaches that you think is really, really exclusive that you have been implementing in your teaching, professional teaching career?
All right. Thank you, sir. Well, language teaching is tricky sometimes because we need to learn about something something new that maybe some of the students in rural areas, for example, in my experience, they not not really familiar with that. But at the moment when I was in my undergraduate study, there are a lot of there are a few digit you know there are a few teaching methods that we have learned, for example project-based learning or and any other teaching methods that we have learned at that moment. But now I also think that project-based learning is one of the teaching methods that work on my career for now on, since in the language education we also need something to engage the students to learn. And for example, in the previous semester, my student I asked my students to create you know a video that includes their description about places, since they learn about descriptive text. So at that moment, I asked them to how to create a video or produce a video that they can use their speaking skills, writing skills as well. I'm sorry, and also in that writing also they need to research. So it's also include the reading reading capability. And I also think that project-based learning can include all of these materials in English. We speaking skills, writing skills, yeah, that can be one of the teaching methods that work on me.
Okay. Thank you for your answers, Novia. Let me check my audio one more time. Am I audible? Is my audio audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
All right. Next question, Novia. If you're really passionate about English teaching and learning, and it's also your current job at the moment, why are you planning to, study digital technologies or educational technologies, which is not really specifically about TESOL?
All right. Well, I honestly believe that Pak Haidir and Bu Laila still remember how we experienced COVID-19 in the early of 2020 because of that pandemic really shocked us. Even our education system can be affected by that. And at that moment, I also experienced firsthand about how the education system in Indonesia works in a rural area, for exact. So maybe in 2020 and 2021, there are a lot of schools in urban areas. They can adapt to the current the current condition, which change from the face-to-face learning into the virtual learning. But it is really struggle for the schools in rural areas, and it's not just about the students only, but teachers as well. Teachers really have no idea how to deliver their materials, since the students cannot adapt to that situation as well. So I think digital literacy is one of the big problem that Indonesia has now on until now. So it's not just about the pandemic COVID, because from the report I have researched, for example, the CNBC report that the Indonesia education in rural area, they intend to have lack of digital literacy capability. So pandemic COVID-19 increased that number. So now I am thinking that English education or English teaching is not one of it is not the one and only problem that Indonesia has, but another subject as well. So how to have an advanced teaching skills for the teachers and the capabilities of students to accept that digital literacy is really important for having an educational equity. And educational equity now is my current goals that I really want to achieve. And I believe that having a fairly, concern about a digital method or teaching methods is really important to have that equity in education in Indonesia. So I believe that the major that I chose, which is digital technologies, communication, and education, can help me to pursue my dreams and to pursue my goals to help Indonesian teachers and students to achieve or to chase the educational gap that they have, and together we can help each other and achieve our goals, which is an equity in education in Indonesia.
Okay, Novia, are you aware that in your chosen majors, there wouldn't
Yeah.
be any courses regarding teachers training or teachers education? You're not going to be learning pedagogy for teachers in your three chosen majors. It's all about technology, communication, and education in general. So how can you, you know, are you aware of that kind of differences in between the two majors?
Yeah. Sure, of course, I'm aware of that. And I also mentioned some of the courses that I really want to take in the some of the paragraph after that. And however, I still believe that three of the mandatory and also chosen chosen courses that I chose is really important to help me to chase the equity of education in Indonesia, since those three are includes some of the courses that I really need to help the teachers and students in Indonesia. Because after I graduate later on and upon my return to Indonesia, I really want to be a teacher that's not just about teaching, not just teach the materials, but I really want to apply all the digital technologies capability that I have learned and how to deliver it by the other subjects, for example, the education, communication, and sustainability, to help the teachers in my hometown and also the students there to, how to deliver it and how we can adapt that, we can apply those digital technologies in our classrooms. And as well as that, I think that some of the courses I have taken in my undergraduate degree is quite enough for me to to help me to have that pedagogical things. So I think I need more deepen deepen course regarding to my passion in digital technologies, communication, and education that really would like to help me to my future career professionally and personally, and help my community. Or that you cannot hear my voice?
Okay, wait a moment. May I change my connection first?
Oh yes, sure.
Test, test. Am I audible now? Hello? Am I audible? What about now?
Yes, you are. Yes, I
Okay.
can hear your voice.
Navia, I've got your points. So now it makes sense. The reason why you don't want to pursue further education in pedagogy because it's already sufficient from your bachelor's, and now you want to deepen your fundamentals and theories and practices regarding educational technology to help local teachers in your communities regarding that kind of area. But are you aware that are you aware of the how how competitive uh, the learning environment at Manchester University is? It's gonna be really competitive. Uh, my point is all about all I'm trying to say is that have you already got any experiences and regarding basics uh, or introduction to technology or any experiences of using educational technologies before you pursue your master's degree there?
All right. Well, yeah, during my undergraduate degree, I already have the passion into digital technologies. So when I joined the Pemilihan Mahasiswa Berprestasi Universitas Negeri Malang, I wrote my paper entitled Grafedu. So it is the application using machine learning for the dysgraphia's children that they have the disability of writing, and I helped them using my application at that moment to how to overcome the side effect of that disability. And that paper brought me to be the first most outstanding student in Universitas Negeri Malang 2021. On the other hand, I also helped some of the local teachers, when I joined the teaching assistant program helped by Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan Republik Indonesia in one of the local schools in my hometown, because at that moment we still in 2021 and it's still COVID-19. So they are they were really difficult in how to teach in the COVID era, and I helped them overcome that struggle by teach them how to produce the animated videos, for example, and engaging videos, how to use another tools that can help us to deliver our subject. And it has successfully increased the number of students who has lack of motivation, and they can increase their motivation to learn, and also increase their motivation to study more and learn about the subject, not just about English subject only, but because of I also teach some of the other teachers whose different subject, for example, the science and also the religion subjects. So they said that it helped them and increased their learning outcomes. And also in my previous thesis or my previous skripsi, I also bring the media audio visual which is really related to digital technologies or the use of technology. And I found that there is something that we can use regarding to the audiovisual media to help students to increase their motivation to learn and to increase their learning outcomes. So I truly believe that I have the something that I can hold to help me during my master's degree. And because of in my undergraduate study, sorry, in my undergraduate degree or my undergraduate study, I also actively involved in side and outside the classrooms. So I have experienced the challenges, academic challenges, and also pressures that I truly believe that also that already hone my skills about managing time or managing myself emotions to how I can still manage my time there and also manage the competitiveness that Manchester has. And I I already aware of that, and I'm ready for that also.
Okay, it's good for you that you are aware of the basic requirements before pursuing that kind of a very competitive environment. Because if you're not having those kind of experiences and no basic knowledge, you're gonna be struggling, right? But hopefully you can catch up and keep up all the time. Now you have mentioned you wrote various reasons, justifications why you chose Manchester University, majoring in digital technologies, communication, and education. But we didn't see why you put Sheffield in the
Yeah.
second rank and why Monash at the third rank.
Yeah.
Why did you put this priorities? That's the first question. And next one, we don't think Manchester, Sheffield, or Monash are really the top university in comparison to Harvard or MIT, for example, who have more advanced digital technologies or educational technology majors. So why didn't you pick, you know, the first one in US, for example, or in other countries? Why these three?
All right. So based on what I have researched a few months in the past few months, I believe that University of Manchester still be my first chose my first option to pursue my master's degree, since it offers the courses that really important for me to help me to continue and also to achieve my goals and help me to really deepen my knowledge and also practical skills in the digital technologies things. And some of the courses there, for example, the technology, communication, and education, um, they really help me to have the fundamental knowledge about how to use the digital technologies in education. And because of I really need the skills to how to integrate the digital technologies into the classrooms or into the education, it is really important for me to have that kind of program that suit to my goals. And I believe that University of Manchester is really important, as well as they not just offer me the digital integrating digital technologies only, but also the communication. So it is also helped me to how to deliver it. So what I have known and what I have got during my master's and during my study, they also taught me, they also teach me how to deliver it to other people, how to communicate it to other people. And it is really related, and it is really essential for me, since after I graduate, I also want to be an educator and a trainer for the teachers, the local teachers in my hometown, also the students here, how to integrate that technology into education. So that is why I choose Manchester, University of Manchester for my first option. And if you asked me about why I didn't choose the Harvard or MIT, for example, well, since it is in the US, I have researched also that most of the universities in the US, even the Harvard Graduate School, for example, they also
Okay.
hello, sir. I'm so sorry for the problem. So I think that's it's going to be raining here, so there's something problem with the electricity.
It's okay, understandably. Would you please continue? The last thing that we heard is all about the reason why not Harvard or other universities that are
Yes.
maybe more advanced than your three
Yeah.
options.
All right. Thank you. Well, most of the universities in the US, like Harvard and MIT that you already mentioned, um, as far as I have researched that those universities, they mostly um just concern about the theoretical framework, which for me it's not suitable for me since I truly need the courses and also universities that offered me the practical skills that I can learn about, and also um, yeah, the practical skills is the main reason why I need the universities in the UK and Australia, for example, that you already know that I chose those three universities. So since that reason, that is why I chose the University of Manchester, Sheffield, and Monash University, since these three universities, they offered the practical skills that I can learn deeper about the program and about the courses, since Also, the assignments in the program or in the courses, mostly they using the project-based learning, as well as the making something or yeah, like creating media learning, for example, and that is main assignment that they want to give to their students instead of the written assignment. So I really need this kind of projects and this kind of program that I truly believe it can help me to pursue my dreams to have the equity in education in Indonesia. And also the University of Manchester as well, they also offered these students to have the link or the network for the company and also institutions, education institutions, for example, in Manchester, that we can learn firsthand from that institutions, that I also believe that it can help us for preparing ourselves after we graduate. So yeah.
All right. Have you contacted the admission officers or the program director, for example, for Manchester, Sheffield, or Monash, to make sure about it? Because I'm pretty sure Harvard's or MIT and other best universities have the same and even more advanced networking, and not only about theoretical framework but also practical projects. Have you ever contacted any professors, any admission office, or program directors by any chance?
Yeah. So far I haven't contacted one of the lecture or the officers admissions from the universities I have mentioned. However, I already listed some of the lectures that I truly believe can help me during my study. For example, the Dr. Sandra Ajabs and also Louis Major. And during my research as well, I found that these three universities is more suitable for me, since it's not just about how advanced the university's name or the university's um, fame, for example, for me to pursuing my master's degree later on. However, I truly believe that the courses they taught me is more beneficial for me, that more essential for me to choose. And also for now on, it's not just about the name of the um, you know universities, but I truly believe that the other things, for example, the safety of um, you know, the city, as well as the environment of the um, classrooms and the study learning is more important as well as the culture that I need to hold later on. So yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your final project. By the end of your study in one of those universities, have you outlined your master's thesis? Are you aware of what kind of final project would you will you do? Is it going to be like a master's thesis or what?
Yes, it's going to be a master's thesis, since the universities of Manchester and University of Sheffield needs this kind of thesis, and Monash University is not. So I would like to develop an animated videos, and it is also related to my previous thesis or my previous scriptsy, that also learn about audiovisual media and their effect for the students. And I want to develop my own animated videos and producing this kind of videos to help to investigate it more, how its impact for teachers and students in Indonesia, and bridging the gap about education in Indonesia. So it's going to be like investigate the effect for about the animated videos to the schools, and we will compare it between the urban schools and rural areas. So after we have those data, we can find the result. And it is not only the quantitative research, for example, just going to give them the pre-test and post-test, but I'm also going to interview the teachers and students, how their perspectives about that animated videos and that media to help them improve their, you know, learning environment and learning process. And after that, we can see the result if it is really can help the rural area students to chase their learning outcomes. If we compare it to the urban areas students, we can see that it is really beneficial for us to implement it more wider in a wider areas, and it can help the education policymaker, for example, to really considering the use of animated videos in the learning process. That I really hope that it can be beneficial and contribute to the Indonesian education system to have our equity in education in Indonesia.
Okay, Novia, last questions from me. In your portfolio on the LPDP portal on the website, you mentioned lots of organizations. I have three questions regarding this. Number one, why do you really enjoy being involved in such organizations? Secondly, what kind of lessons and values have you learned so far from those kind of organizations? And last but not least, what organizations, activities, or extracurriculars outside of your academic life in Manchester, Sheffield, or Monash that you would like to join or enroll in if you are selected later on?
All right, thank you, sir. For answering your questions, for number one question, or the first question, well, I truly believe that some of the organizations I have joined honed my soft skills and hard skills. Outside that, despite of what I have learned during my study in the classrooms, they taught me about how I manage my time, how my public speaking skills goes, and also how to have the professional ethics, for example, about manage our time during the our career. And that's really beneficial for me. These three main point that I really highlight during what I got in my organization. And this is really important to have the experience in some of the organizations in during our study, because it's also not just about the soft skills and hard skill for ourselves only, but also how we link each other, how we have more friends, and we can enjoy our time during our study, as well as because we have some friends to hang out with and to chat with. And that is why I really enjoy my time during joining the organizations in my previous study. And also, for answering the second question, one of the magical value that I really learned during my journey is that good things take time. So I truly believe that most of the achievements, for example, or experiences that I have had during my undergraduate degree, that's not an instant process. It needs effort, time, maybe a lot of energy, mentally and physically. But at the end of the day, we will get a lot of things, even it is the result is not as good as we have expected. But I believe that good things takes time. Good things take times. So anything that I have learned, it has also taught me something. That is why I also want to mention one of magical quote that I have got from Nelson Mandela. He said that failure, sorry, we will never lose. We either win or learn. So even though we didn't win at the end of the day, but we can learn something. During the study, the process, the effort that we already give, there's something that we can learn that will help us to achieve our good things. And that is why good things take times. And also, I truly believe that it is not just about my own effort. I also have my supporting system, my families, my friends, my relatives, my friends in organizations. They always help me to cheering me out always. And also in everything I did, I always try to, you know, appreciate this kind of support from my surroundings, because it is not just my own achievement, but it is also theirs. And yeah, I just really want to thank them for all of that. And for answering your last question, what kind of organization that I want to join during my study? First of all, of course, the Perhimpunan Pelajar Indonesia, or PPI. I truly believe that I can, hold my Indonesian things, Indonesian culture, and I still have this kind of network in abroad, in Manchester later on, hopefully. And this kind of organization also will help me to, despite of the network they offered, they also help me to deepen my soft skills and hard skills as well. As I mentioned before, the three things that I still want to develop, for example, time management, public speaking, and also prioritize something. It is really important for me for my future career. So that is why I want to join PPI. And also, I really want to join the Manchester Community Learning. So it is kind of the educational community in the Manchester that I really want to join, since they have like a volunteering program in Manchester. And in that organization, I can learn firsthand about how UK citizens teach their community, and I can, take some of the lessons I got from that organizations to I reshare it to my community later on upon my return to Indonesia. So I hope that I can have this kind of opportunity later on.
All right, thank you, Novia. That's all from me. Give it to Bu Laila. You may proceed.
All right. All right, thank you, Mr. Haidir. So, since Mr. Haidir has asked you a lot of questions about your academic background, now I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. First of all, what is your biggest achievement?
All right, thank you, Laila. One of my biggest achievement is when I was being the delegate for Australia-Indonesia Youth Exchange Program 2020, or we usually call it IEP 2020. It is an youth exchange program sponsored by Kementerian Pemuda dan Olahraga Republik Indonesia and also the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Australia. So it is one of the prestigious program that I ever joined. And honestly speaking, it is not just about the prestigious program, but how I see this kind of program being milestone for me. So before joining the IEP, I don't think that I am a good person enough, or having a contribution for my home country, for example. But this is a milestone for me to achieve bigger things. And I also appreciate how IEP 2020 really taught me about, that I haven't mentioned it before, but this IEP 2020 is held virtually during COVID-19. So we have this kind of virtual program about 7 weeks, and this program taught me that technology can help me to change our perspective, our mindset, as well as it can change people's life. It changed my life. And I don't want that this kind of you know, program or what I have experienced, it just stop in me. But that is why I really want to reshare it to my community after the program ends, and also during the program and afterwards. Me and other delegates, Indonesian delegates, we actively contribute to introduce the Indonesian culture, for example, the arts, bahasa Indonesia, food, and so on and so forth to our Australian fellows. And at that moment, I truly believe that IEP is a milestone for me and also helped me to be a better person, since it is also one of the reason that why I want to why I choose the digital technologies field into my master's degree, because it's already a proof for me that digital technologies indeed help someone's life.
All right, what a wonderful achievement. Now, what about the biggest trauma that you have, and how did you cope with it?
All right. Well, one thing I can think now, it is that I got 3 times rejection for the undergraduate scholarship. So during my early semesters in my undergraduate degree or undergraduate study, I I got those 3 times rejection. Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'm so sorry once again for this problem. Well, I want to continue by answering.
Yes, please.
Yeah. All right. So, my biggest trauma, but I don't want to call it as trauma because I found it as a lesson for me that I got 3 times rejection for the scholarships during my undergraduate degree. Those 3 rejections I got in 1 until 3, the first until the in my study. Uh, All right. Am I audible now? I'm so sorry for my lack of signal this time.
Yes, you are audible. Can you hear my voice clearly now?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So at that moment I got rejection in the first until third semester of my study. And at that time, firstly, I of course really disappointed of myself. But at that moment, I asked to my mother. I said like sorry that I cannot help her to help my own financial to help me during my study. But at that moment, my mom even said, "That's okay. Mama still can pay for your study. So what you need to do now is just doing good, just to learn well." And uh, that statement, I cannot take it. I really didn't take it for granted. So I learned really well after that, and I'm trying any opportunity in front of me. All right. Um, may I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah.
You are.
Okay. Well, at that moment, I asked to my mother. I'm so sorry. I said to my mother, I'm so sorry for cannot help her to my own financial for study. But at that moment, my mama said that it's okay. Mama still can help you to pay for your study. So one thing that you need to do is just doing good and learn well there. And that is why I didn't take it for granted. I really open to any opportunity that happening in front of me during my study. I try a lot of, you know, um, competitive competitions, and also joining some of the organizations that really beneficial for me. And yeah, until I got the IAP 2020, and then I also being the best graduate uh, in my graduation in Universitas Negeri Malang for non-academic aspect. At that moment, my mama and my father, my parents, they are really they said that they are really proud of me. And yeah, I can during my journey of that, yeah, I believe that there is something that I can take and that can make me who I am today, and I'm really grateful for that.
Okay, great. Now you are a teacher, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you already have a comfortable job with a great salary, perhaps. Then why do you still want to pursue higher education?
All right. Well, honestly speaking, there are two reasons why I want to pursue my master's degree, even though I already having a quite stable job now on. The first reason, of course, to have the expertise of my concerned, since I really concerned and passionate in digital technologies or technology in education. I truly believe that I need to have this expertise to help my community and my hometown, my schools, and other schools in my hometown here, to help them to have a better quality of learning environments and learning process. And I truly believe that having this kind of um, expertise, I can help them in that kind of area. And the second reason is that I came from a rural area, and now I came back to my hometown, is which is one of the rural areas in Riau province. And when I was younger, I still cannot, I don't know what to do. I have an abstract plans what I have to do next after I graduate from senior high school. So I don't have someone to help me, and I don't want to youngsters in Indragiri Hulu or Riau province in general this time having this kind of feelings as well. So I really want to be someone to help them and guide them to give them a motivation and inspiration to have higher education, that a person that came from a rural area, or the person as a girl can pursue a more higher education and the graduate studies, for example. So I don't want to them have that. I want them to have this kind of feelings and this kind of spirit that I want. I want also they can have a mindset to give it back to their community, so we can together have our the same goals to achieve the equity in Indonesia.
All right. Previously you said that you want to be an expertise of teaching, right? So, I mean expert teacher. So if you want to be an expert teacher or a competent one, why don't you just join the teacher professional education? For example, from our government, we have the PPK program, right? Why don't you just join that?
All right. Well, all right. For this question, I truly believe that master degree is still being a good option for me to, and top option for me to help me to be a more competent teacher, because upon my return to Indonesia, I don't want just to be you know a teacher and also develop the media only, but I also want to be a trainer for the teachers, school leaders, and students in Riau province for exact. And I truly believe that having a master's degree knowledge, since the courses in my chosen university is in University of Manchester, for example, they offered a lot of courses that really can help me to having a more competent skills and expertise, that I truly believe it is different if we compare it to other institutions, for example, since it is also showed the um, you know competence of ours, and also the professional knowledge that we have, that I should believe it is important for me to be a Widya Wiswara after I graduate. And that is why I still thinking that master degree is a great option for me to pursue, and it is also to help me to achieve and to chase, to help the local teachers, the students, to we have this the same values and goals to have the equity of education in Indonesia.
Great. Then, as the perspective Indonesian teacher, you need to know the update of the curriculum or perhaps the educational system in Indonesia, right? Then why should you pursue a master's degrees abroad? Why not in the domestic university?
Yeah. All right. Well, Indonesia, of course, I have also researched some of the universities in Indonesia, and um, most of the universities in Indonesia, they haven't gave me more, deepen strength about the knowledge and practical skills they can offer during the study, if I compare it to the other universities that I already mentioned before, for example, University of Manchester. So I still believe that the University of Manchester can be a really great and top option for me to learn about this deepen, and also I also chose UK since UK is one of the best country that has a great educational system, and I want to firsthand learning it firsthand from the host country, and after that I can got that lessons and I can reshare it to my community, that I believe it is really important for me to this kind of goals. And yeah, that is why I want to pursue my master's in this field in the UK.
Okay, then did you apply using LOA or not? Sorry.
I haven't applied to any university so far, but I have preparing for it. For example, I preparing my IELTS and also motivation letter. So after I got the results for this LPDP, I am going to straightly apply to the universities I have mentioned before. So I want to have the guarantee first about how I can pay for the tuition fees, and I think that can be one of my biggest consideration so far.
Okay, what about the guarantee for the LPDP? I mean, how will you obtain your LOA in the future?
All right. Well, after I got the result from LPDP, I accepted as one of the awardees. I want to straightly, apply to the universities I have mentioned before: University of Manchester, University of Sheffield, and Monash University, since I already preparing the documents a few months in this past few months. And after that, I can waiting for that result, and I hope that I can get good news before the August.
Okay, the next question is that what do you want to do after finishing your master degree education?
Yeah, well, I already planned the short-term and long-term planning. So for the short-term plan, I want to continue my career as a teacher here, but I really want to have a bigger part in MGMP, or Musyawarah Guru Mata Pelajaran, as a facilitator. So I want to reshare what I have learned during my master's degree in the UK, and I want to help them to how to integrate the technology into our education, into our classroom learnings. And also I want to have the project with the Dinas Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan in Riau province to create some of the learning media that can help us to improve the students' motivation to learn, since I already have linked to some of the persons in the Dinas Pendidikan and Kebudayaan Riau Province, and also Dinas Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan Kabupaten Indragiri Hulu. And after that, I can continue to my long-term planning, which is around 4 until 5th year upon my return to Indonesia. I want to join Widya Iswara. So it is an institution that include the professional trainers for the teachers, school leaders, and education practitioners to train them about specific educational settings. And at this time, since I hope that I already expertise about the educational technology in education, I can take part in that field, and I can being Widya Iswara, and I can reshare what I have. And also, since I already being Widya Iswara, of course I have the license of trainings and teaching for the teachers or lecturers or other education practitioners, and I can wider the benefit. And I hope that we can together have a better education quality in Indonesia, since we have still gap between the rural areas and urban areas. So I hope that these goals can be happen in the future, and we can together have this kind of equity in education in Indonesia.
What a beautiful plan. However, we have to prepare for the worst, right? Then, if you cannot become what you intended after completing your master degree, what will you do?
All right. Well, I honestly believe that for now on, being a teacher is still my passion. And I don't think it is just in a formal school, but also informal school. So I think I honestly believe that I am a person that open to any opportunity. So whatever opportunity in front of me, if it is still related to my values and my goals in having the educational equity in Indonesia, I really open for that and consider that for my future career. But now on, I still believe that being a teacher and also being teachers for the school leaders and educational practitioners of as well as the students still being my first top priority for me to achieve that goals.
All right, the last question from me. If you fail to obtain this scholarship, what will you do?
I'm sorry, ma'am, may you repeat the question?
Sure. If you fail to obtain this scholarship, what will you do?
All right. Well, getting a rejection for my first attempt for LPDP, if it is going to be, well, it is not the end of my journey. It also will not stop my passion in education and my goals to having the equity in education. But I still believe that there is something that I can learn during my process about a year for this scholarship journey. So there's something that I can learn, but however, I will evaluate as well what I have done this past few months. And I truly believe that I can learn from it and I can be a better person in the next page that hopefully I can be better and I can got my scholarship in my second attempts.
All right, thank you, Novia. I'll pass it back to Mr. Haidir.
Thank you so much, Bulaila. That is the end of our questions. But before we close this interview simulation, we're going to give you 30 seconds for the closing statement. You're here.
All right. Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity and your precious time, Pak Haidir and Bulaila. I'm truly grateful that we can have this kind of conversation today. And I learned a lot from your perspective as well. I also noted some of your suggestions that I truly believe it is also going to be a really noticeable things for me that going to be precious for me as a better person. And I hope that this scholarship, LPDP scholarship, can help me to be a bridge to my study journey. To we together, since I have the same goals as with LPDP to have and also all of the LPDP awardees, we have the goals to make Indonesia a better country and in our own aspect. And for now, we have the same goals to have a better quality of education. And I hope that we can achieve that in the future. Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.